If you're seeing this message today, it's because as a healer, you have done enough work on yourself, and now it's time to move forward into a more creative timeline. Instead of pouring all of your creative energy inwards to restore yourself, you've gotten to a point now where you have enough fullness and wholeness. You have enough remembrance and recognition of your divinity that it's time to show up in the capacity and with the gifts that God gave you, and to create the life of your dreams, to create purpose and impact and your lasting legacy. And you may have felt like you've been on this path for a while, like feeling this soul calling to step deeper and deeper into your purpose. You may also have been through a lot of different chapters of that soul purpose evolving and sort of almost shifting under your feet. And you've been so devoted, you've been so committed to following that path, to listening to your intuition, to aligning as best as you can with the circumstances you've been given to follow that soul calling. And you have encountered setbacks and obstacles along the way that you have taken the time, you've taken the energy to really sit with yourself and be with all of it. You've gained the tools, the insights. You've become so proficient as a healer. And you might not see yourself this way at this moment, but this is a reflection to you, a mirroring to you, to let you know that you have done enough healing. God is not asking you to be perfect before you start. And you did need to collect a lot of wisdom. You need to collect the tools, the understanding of who you are and what the divine created you to be and do in this lifetime. You needed to know some really fundamental pieces of your, earthly personality that you've been given. Those missing puzzle pieces that you could not really move forward and fully step into this season of purpose without. So giving yourself so much credit and acknowledgement for all of the effort that you've put into your healing process. And also a gentle and loving reminder that life isn't just about healing. Life isn't just constantly about catching up with healing from things that did not get healed in the past. And now you're sort of on this hamster wheel of trying to pour into things that were just like left depleted in that string of memories and history from the past. You've poured into that enough now that there is this inherent sense of inner peace, inner stability that you can really ground into, and that is giving you the foundation so that you can look forward now and focus fully on creating. There is this tension between the internal orientation of healing, where the energy primarily focuses inside of oneself, whereas creating, I've talked about this in some of my other videos and content, creating is a more outwardly oriented process. It creates tangible, physical, material outcomes in the world. And so, yes, we needed to take the time to fill ourselves in all the places we thought that or felt like we were not whole enough. Of course, we are all whole, but it's those places within our consciousness where we feel that we are not. We had to take the time and address that and bring ourselves to this place now where we have enough spaciousness, we have enough freedom in our consciousness to be able to focus less on ourselves and more on what we are here to do and how we are here to serve, what we're here to create for ourselves and for the world. With creation, and there's a big transition, right? From that inward to outward direction and channeling of your energy. What I've noticed within myself and speaking to this collective over the last several months is that we've gotten really good at honing our internally oriented energies. Yes, our external is a reflection of the internal. And at the same time, I've heard so many spiritual people say while they're in a healing process that they struggle to manifest outward outcomes. They struggle to really see the tangible fruits of their inward labor, their inner labor that they know is coming, but it's just like taking a long time, or there's some kind of delay, or there is just a lot of having to sit in the void and just wait and really being forced to exercise that trust and surrender and believing that it is coming. I've realized that it's not just about waiting. There is a lot of process that happens during that waiting period that is actually very active and requires your participation. And this transition from the internal focused energy of healing to the outward focused energy of creation is asking you to participate. It's so interesting because as healers, our action has always been internalized, right? Like when something happens outside, it's so natural for us to internalize that, reflect on our own triggers or our own patterns, our own thoughts and beliefs, and create our changes from the inside out, which, yes, that is still, I'm not saying that we're not going to do that anymore. However, in this season where we are more stepping into an outward sort of output that is still honoring our internal foundation that we've built, coming from that place, it requires a different, almost like calibration or configuration of how we channel our energy and a different set of behaviors and beliefs and the way that we relate to the outside world. So instead of it being entirely just something happens on the outside and we just sit back and observe as healers do and kind of work through our own internal process, now the next step is to do something with that. There is such immense power in the ability to take in and be receptive in the way that we are, to take in that information from the outside, alchemize it within ourselves, within our unique configuration that the divine gave to us individually, because nobody sees things the way that you do. Nobody has the exact set of circumstances and experiences and perspectives that you do. And the reason why we're given these unique designs is so that we can take in this information, alchemize it, transform it, metabolize it as healers, and put it out into the world in a different form. That is the missing piece, the creation part. We as healers have gotten so good at taking in that information and kind of keeping it to ourselves, right? And yes, sometimes we share it with our friends and sometimes we write about it in our journals and have, a gazillion notes on our phone about our own personal insights. Same here. And the repeated messages that I've been getting from the divine for my own soul journey, and I think you may relate too, is that your perspective needs to be shared. Your perspective and your gifts deserve to be seen, to be heard. You're being given the seed of creation through your insight, through your understanding. See, people like us who are healers, who are intuitives, who are very receptive, observant, and understanding of this world in ways that other people do not see, the world needs to see a different perspective, to hear your perspective, to kind of like have a different way to metabolize a different point of view than the one that everybody else is seeing. Because you see the different layers, you have that depth that is needed for people to have their own internal breakthroughs and their own healings. So the next step for us is to step into more creative, expressive outlets for all of this gathered energy that we've honed within us, all of the healed stuff. I hate using that term, but I think you know what I mean. Right? The things that we've moved through and integrated and embodied within ourselves. And it's nice, right? It's nice that we get to have that. What a privilege and what a gift that we get to keep that for ourselves. And if you're seeing this video, there's likely a part of you that also craves and knows deep down that you are meant to share this wisdom. You are meant to share this gift with the world. And maybe you're just now figuring out how you can do that in this season of your life. Maybe you have gone through different chapters where you've been given pieces of how you can most authentically and most potently share what it is that all this wisdom understanding that you've cultivated within yourself. And everyone is going to be different. And that's the beauty of this process, is that Your greatest contribution is going to be your most authentic essence and transmission. I have spent the last 5 years in my soul-led business, honestly, figuring out what that is for me. And I feel like I'm just now understanding that I am here to share insights. I'm here to transmit codes and information and help people have breakthroughs in their consciousness. I'm here to teach things. I'm here to share my music and my art and heal people indirectly, like not in person like I used to, but just through my words and through my presence and through my perspective. And that could be true for you too, right? Or some part of that might resonate with you. Or maybe you are an artist or a painter, or maybe you like to write. Maybe you're going to write a book. Or maybe you can come up with a new way of teaching a certain healing modality, or whatever it is. Your creation is your own. And I think like all of that healing, that giant chapter of healing that is, maybe you're also feeling like it's coming to almost like a close for now, at least. Like this, you were in this season of like really deep, intense healing, like sitting with your wounds and your traumas and all that. You've achieved and progressed so much in your healing process. And you needed to do that healing in order to be able to throw off your needs for external validation, all of the inauthentic programmings and patterns and beliefs that were implanted into you in the past, so that you could reveal your most authentic self and expression, so that you can take that and create from your most aligned center, your most aligned identity. And what I've found, if you've been following my videos for the last several months, like I've been going through a huge transition myself, and now fully stepping into just my creative side and shedding everything else that doesn't fit anymore. And what I've realized is that after going through so many evolutions of creative purpose and soul purpose, is that it's just going to continue to shift. One of the biggest insights for me was that it's not the creation that brings the stability or the abundance or the roots, the sustainability that so many of us creators and spiritual people crave deep down. But it's actually the inner stability. It's the ability to keep responding to God, the divine, to life, not anchor yourself down into something that isn't authentic to you, or to have to stay in anything for too long that doesn't feel good or right for you. As a creator, you can have that flexibility, that it's actually not about the role that you play. It's not about the thing that you create. It's not about the external outcomes of the creation process. It's about the process. It's about being the creator in your own design, embodying that, and being able to shift with that as you evolve and as you find different ways to creatively express yourself. And then there will be other chapters of healing that you can translate into something that you create for yourself and for the world. I've had several periods in my life where I sort of went into like isolation, if you will, like a hermit phase, a hiatus. I took time off and just solely focused on myself. And after experiencing a lot of burnout from my other, my more service-oriented roles, it felt really good in the beginning for the first several months to just pour into myself and fill back up. But there always came a point where in my own healing process, when I'm fully focused on myself, it doesn't quite feel right for more than a couple of months. I feel like deep down, I feel like my soul knows that I am here to serve, and that once I am filled up enough, then it's time to like switch gears into serving others, helping others. And a lot of that, is finding the ways in which you feel most supported, most aligned, most authentic, and like honors all of who you are. Finding a way to create that, is truly aligned with who you are right now and what you want to be doing, and then making that happen. So I think like the healing foundation that you've built for yourself and that I've built for myself, you could not be in this phase of stepping out and creating without it. And you had to go through that. You needed all of these tools. You needed these insights. You needed this wisdom. You needed that embodiment. You needed to take that inward time to just like be with yourself, be with your own energy, understand more about who you are, what you're here to do, and what you want to create. And so now there's this like the first, I feel like there's the first few steps of stepping through that door of becoming the creator and really owning that. So I really encourage you, if you're resonating with this message, like own that. Own that you are a creator of your own reality, that you can create whatever you want. You have a vault of wisdom and experiences that people want to know about. It's been given to you because you are meant to be the steward of your own experiences and your own insights. And you get to now pass that on to people who can also benefit from that, but in a way that really nourishes you and helps you feel authentic and expressed and in integrity, and also helps people have a transformation or whatever outcome you desire or they desire at the same time. So I feel like there is this alignment happening of you are now having this desire to serve, or you're realizing that this calling is pulling you forward, and you have the foundation of healing, and you have a lot of experiences to pull from that, and sort of trial and error that has helped you form the most aligned path forward to help you create in a way that feels good. This gets to feel good. I know that sometimes with healing, it can feel very heavy, it can feel very intense. The focus is really on just like, pain and suffering. But I think that we're all moving forward into this creative season of life, because that heaviness, that life focused on the pain and suffering, that's not you anymore. You are closing this chapter of intense healing, taking what the sacred wisdom that you have gained, and you're taking that forward with you into this next chapter. And it gets to feel really good. You get to have this life that feels more easeful, that feels less extractive, less performative, more authentic, more abundant, filled with goodness. And that when the difficult, challenging things come, they don't feel so heavy. It's like there's this buoyancy about you now, that you've been through so much. You have weathered all of the storms that have come your way. You've embodied and integrated. There are clear skies ahead. Please let yourself have this. It gets to be good. You get to enjoy your life. You get to have some relaxation, some spaciousness, room to breathe, room to do what feels good for you, room to prioritize your creativity, room to be supported for who you are authentically and how you want to show up in the world next. I'm so excited for this next chapter for all of us. I really feel like this is just the beginning of an epic chapter of life, of co-creation. And I seriously can't wait to see what we all get up to, what we create in our lives, and to walk alongside each other on this journey of greater co-creative expression with God, with each other, and making an impact. And so your season of healing, we're tying a bow on that for now. And you get to now claim this next chapter of creation. You are the author. You get to decide what comes next. And whatever it is, I know it's going to be amazing. Thank you for joining me today. If this message resonated with you, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And I will see you in the next video. Mwah.